Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and jump down into this, guys. I got a clip up here today. Basically, this is a guy that was holding his cash at SVB, basically talking about the experience that he's had so far. That was last week. I guess this is going to this week. He's gained access back to his money. He's just basically giving a sentiment on how it feels to these banks. Mind you, 160, 180 banks of this size are all in danger right now as we currently speak. But we're gonna watch the video, and they got some keynotes at the end here, just as a vibe check and reminder, guys. This week is gonna get wicked. There's no way to wrap around. This week's gonna get wicked. Let's tap in this real quick, though.
Startups are pulling their company money from Silicon Valley Bank following last week's banking crisis and the shutdown. Joining us right now, one of those startups, Shelf Engine co-founder and CEO Stefan Kalb. Shelf Engine helps automate grocery store ordering while minimizing food waste. Stefan, great to see you. Thanks very much for being here. Your company had all of its cash in Silicon Valley Bank. What happened?
Yeah, that's right. We had all of our cash in Silicon Valley Bank, and we got the shocking news just a little over a week ago that all of our money is going to be locked up, and we weren't going to be able to access it. So it was, let me say, last weekend was quite a trip, quite a wild ride. But we
this whole thing is convinced me to diversify to all of our even the banks that you use.
So we are now in a position.
But like I said, I moved a long time ago to big banks because I saw this coming.
Did you move the money to another bank? You say you have access to it. Where is it?
Here's the keynote, guys, and this is actually my main bank that he's about to name off. But guys, I'll tap into this. There's a narrowing happening in the bank sector to where they're literally centralizing the banks. All this commotion, because everybody knows that basically the feds have let out and said that they are going to protect big banks and small banks are toast or strudels. This is going to centralize. This is centralizing the American dollar into a couple banks. That's how you know we're coming to the end of this bad boy at a point of the dollar.
Yeah, well, there's two things that are very interesting about this entire process. First of all, we did get access to it. We opened up a new bank account and we moved all of our money over to JP Chase, basically the largest U.S. bank and what I essentially consider the safest U.S. bank. However, Silicon Valley Bank is in a big surprise, is kind of back up and running and kind of trying to make it work.
Who paid you?
They've got a new CEO and they're actually like a fully functional bank at this point. Which is quite a surprise, but 95% of our cash is.
He took a $10,000 check for that.
JP Chase.
So what does that mean? Are you gonna move any money back to Silicon Valley Bank? You say it's up and running. Are you gonna use the bank again?
Good hit. So look at that face. God, come on now. This is a charade. This is what I was saying in earlier videos where I was like, you guys cannot take what is said through media and by companies. Literally, they're gonna tell you that it's all right. Regardless, they're never going to tell you no. But now look at the answer. Let's see what happened. You going to take your money back? You coming up, you're saying they're good. I like this lady.
Big question, right? There are a lot of people out there that are kind of pushing for Silicon Valley Bank to come back
Answer
and
the question,
come
Bob.
alive. I'm personally not a big fan of that. I am much more of a fan of some of the other banks that have kind of taken a more responsible approach to what they're doing. And so, for example, these even startup banks like Mercury, for example, that I'm a really big fan of that I'll likely move some of our cash to.
Look, he pulls his funds from SVB. I'm glad they just updated.
So Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren is calling out the Fed and its role in the banking crisis. Here's what she had to say yesterday. Watch this.
I'm calling for an independent investigation of the Fed and the whole regulatory system here. The Fed doesn't just get to do its own investigation.
Thank you.
I'm calling
Throw an investigation on short sellers while you're at it.
To reverse its weakened regulations and to bear down, to look at these banks with much more scrutiny. And then I'm also calling on Congress, as you rightly say, to roll back the ability of the Fed to weaken regulations and calling for these CEOs to be held accountable.
So she
they
wants
put their
more
FDIC sticker up there, never expecting to have to use it.
Is this going to work? I mean, how is that going to impact things?
No, I'm calling on Elizabeth Warren to explain why they ended the exemption for cash and treasuries from the supplementary leverage ratio that forced J.P. Morgan and Bank of America to turn away deposits in March of 2021. And the asset cap on Wells Fargo that drove the money to Silicon Valley.
Yeah, we're calling on Elizabeth Warren
that,
for some items. Jump in here, Lee.
Hey, Stefan, as a consumer as a client of the bank, when you were seeing all the stories breaking of the bank weighing in on ESG and some of the other social policies, what was your thought? This is something that the bank has received a lot of criticism for, not being focused on its.
This guy looked like his last week was hell.
Some of these
Look at his eyes.
political positions.
Look at his eyes. Yo, you're not going to sit there. I don't care. We're all seeing this with our eyes. Everybody's feeling this. We are having an epic economic collapse, financial banking system collapse. People's money's going to disappear. People on bank runs as we speak now. Everybody's pulling their money and moving to these big banks. I think J.P. Morgan was turning deposit checks away. Bro, like, come on
What's
now.
your opinion of that?
Look at this guy. This guy just went through hell.
Well, it puts a lot into question, right? Because one of the amazing things about this country is that it's an amazing place to build a business. It's a great place to be an entrepreneur. And one of the key things that you depend on is a safe bank. And we expect to have a bank where you can keep your money, and then that's the right place to do it. And if we know that the bank is not functioning very well,
it's called crypto. That's the safe bank.
Quite a worrisome kind of process.
You got a safe,
absolutely,
and you the bank.
All the reports that are coming through right now.
I'll be my own security guard.
The bank was not operating very well. It was not operating in a safe manner.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely some key things that needed to be resolved.
Well, they got good marks from the administration on their diversity and ESG governance. So that's where their focus was. Stefan, thank you. Stefan Kalb joining us this morning.
All right. Tap back out of that. All right, guys, let me hit my keynotes here. Just to be aware of what's going on. Update with our Credit Suisse. It's crazy how they spell these names, but either way it goes. They were bought out by UBS for $3.25 billion, which sounds like a great thing. The only problem there is that was actually less than half of what the valuation was at the end of the week last Friday. So they were at 7.8-ish. They just got bought for pennies on the dollar, right? Keep running down. I just want y'all to realize this is the black swan event. This is the heat of the market right now. If you couldn't tell by how it's moving, well, let me just fill you on the back notes. Like I said, this was a massive failed attempt, like I said, to patch up the bank. Like I said, mind you, they just pumped $40 billion into Credit Suisse as a way to kind of sustain it afloat. Then that bank just got bought for $3.7 billion. And then on top of it, there's a contingency that there's a bailout already guaranteed. They're saying that if they lose any money, they're guaranteed $15 billion. So I mean, this is such a patch job thing. I mean, that thing's what do they call that thing's on the ER. That thing's on the on a ventilator right now. Hey, there's no way there's a bounce back from that. All right, we're looking here. Pulling back up, FRC is on its second auction. So that means that the first auction, that's First Republic Bank. The first auction, nobody's bought into it. The second auction is about to start up. Guys, nobody even wants to pick these banks up. If nobody picks these banks up, that's an issue for depositors. These people, governments are running out frantically. Please just take it. Please just take it. This is a bad situation that we're living in. Let's see here. And I want to mention in with Credit Suisse, the full market cap prior to this whole debacle going down was around 70 or 80 billion. They were managing prior to this fall. 70 or 80 billion. They just got bought for 3 billion on a contingency plan. All right. Like I mentioned on this video, you can see here, everybody's running out and pulling their money out and putting in big banks. Feds are trying to stop that bank run, so they're not going to come out and say that. But the centralizing of these banks is current right now. They're all the big names, Chase, Small names it's too dangerous to be there. And you can't get retail or investor sentiment back there. It feels unsafe outside and the banks are collapsed. There is no telling me anything. That's why, again, crypto, XRP, Bitcoin, check them out. Up there running. What I said, the time is now. Guys, this is when this happens. Tomorrow, the Trump arrest goes down. That'll be the 21st. all hell is finna break loose. There's gonna be MAGA shows and all this, guys. This is gonna be the political climate is in shambles. Not to mention, I noted down here, just so I could put that double tap in there. The House committee awaits more documents on Biden's family business probe, his alleged leaked payments from Chinese companies to his family. But we won't talk about that. I'm not even gonna say it. Y'all connect the dots. I mean, this is why I became a capitalist. I'm an individualist now. Hey, both sides of this is nonsensical. Following that, the FOMC meeting is on the 22nd, guys. That is going to be a blister. Either way that they decided the FOMC meeting, it's either one they're going to attack interest rates and send the economy up in flames. If it's not up in flames, now they about to put gasoline on it, and or they can try to put water on the economy, right? And inflation runs up. I mean, this is either way it goes, there's not going to be a good outcome to that. The only thing that people are begging for is that they just hope. If they hold, I mean, like I said, that means that they're going to do nothing to either. It helps with it helps a little bit with the economy because these people that are underwater for these bad bets, the hedge funds, banks getting smoked right now, getting burnt up. You and I ain't getting burnt up because we already been burnt up. You hear me? So, I mean, they're in between a rock and a hard spot. And either way it goes, is going to be a bad thing. You can tell by market sentiment, there is no, oh yeah, we're good. No. Everybody knows at this point, this is toast and strudels. Coming back down, I want to just key in on something. Everybody, please keep your eye on your holdings, especially your retail and momentum plays this week and going on next week. This is a black swan event. This is not to be played around in. You can pull your money and sit on the sidelines and watch and be ready. That's what I'm doing. This swinging around and bounce, anything can happen right now. And we haven't even gotten into the nitty gritty. This is just Monday. Guys, this was just the breath before the action. Tomorrow, Wednesday, this is going to be a flame. I'm telling you. Flipping back down, last note, just as a reminder to everybody that it's not just you that's down. If you're down and you're down and you're getting smoked in the stock market, just a reminder, that's the entire economy. The Saudis that had invested in Credit Suisse bought, I believe it was this here, $1.5 to $1.6 billion. They took a $1.6 billion stake in the Credit Suisse. They bought the shares at $3.12 francs. I said $3, 3.12 francs, which would be our equivalent of dollars. But I think it was like a calculator said like 7% difference between their money and our money. So we're 7% above, right? But you just get the point. It's still a lot of money. You're talking about maybe $1.3 billion, $1.2 billion, right? All right, it's supposed to be 1.5. $1.2 billion at $3.12. Credit Suisse is sitting at 0.76 francs as of, that was when it's 131 now. That was around about 11. I looked at that, right? So 76 cents from $3.12. That means they lost 80% of the $1.5 billion, right? And basically, that'd be the equivalent of them going from 1.5 billion down to the 100 millions, guys. If you feeling bad, just understand everybody's getting smoked. This is a black swan event. I can't tell you what do say, buy, hold, or sell, but I'm gonna tell you like this. I've got my money sitting on the sidelines. I'm ready to pounce. As soon as that thing, I'm ready to pounce. But I'm not about to sit here and let it just, I'm not riding in this wave. You can't just ride this wave right here. This is going to get this wicked. This is what you asked for. Y'all wanted margin calls? Okay, well, bank collapse. How do you take that one? But anyways, guys, hey, that's the fill in. Hey, we got a crazy week ahead of us. Everybody keep your heads on a pivot. And like I said, hey, this is just the beginning of the retail saga. This is the greatest chance of financial wealth, guys. And I'm not just talking about AMC and APE. I'm talking about the entire market, everything, crypto, investing, whatever it is that you may be doing. This is the greatest financial wealth transfer that's occurring right now. A reset is occurring right now. This is a reset. This is what that looks like. We're going down to square one. Hey, I appreciate y'all guys. Hey, love the support. Hey, it means the world to me. Hey, and like I said, we're becoming like a family with this thing, man. In which we already were a family. Like I said, if you've been in this place for the last 2 years, we've all been in the comments. We've been talking to each other. We've all been feeling the pain. We've all been taking our dubs, taking our losses together. So at this point, hey, I'm just, bringing my part to the community, just from how I see it from my eyes and things, keynotes that I pick up. But hey, I appreciate y'all boys, and on to the next one. Yes, sir.